Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of All Things MSP Vendor Updates. Today, we have a vendor who's no stranger to All Things MSP, and that is Nodeware. They are a sponsor of All Things MSP, so we really do appreciate that. And with that, I don't think I need to do anything else, but go ahead and bring up Mr. Matthew Koenig.
Hey, everyone.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. So
Good.
This is the first update we've done since you guys became sponsors. So thank you for that.
Sure. We're happy to do it. This is one of the better groups online. We get a lot of traction. We get to talk to a lot of people. All the MSPs we're looking to talk to are part of the group. So, it's a fantastic spend of money.
Well, and we appreciate how Nodeware brings things that are more educational to some of the content that we do. Because that's what we're really here for, right? We're really here to help MSPs run their business, get different perspectives, learn new things, just in general, improve their lives by improving their business.
Absolutely. And I'm of the same belief. If you made me talk about Nodeware for 30 minutes, I'd go out of my mind. I want people to say, hey, I want to know more, and they can get in touch with me and we can do that. By the way, if you want to get in touch with me, it's Matthew.Koenig, Koenig. You can see it on the screen at igicyberlabs.com. Happy to set up a demo or talk about anything we're about to talk about today. And with that, bring up the slides. So today we're going to talk about how to use discovery questions to put you in control of your close rate. Real quick, shameless plug. We're channel only, US-based support and development, white glove onboarding at no charge. Flexible purchasing rolls out in 30 minutes, 7-year-old stable product, and we focus on vulnerability management. The software does internal and external. It's continuous 7x24 in the background. You get new device alerts. You get remediation guidance. We have built-in patch management, robust reporting. Think attack surface management on an ongoing basis. Call me. Love you. Anyway, let's talk about discovery. So there are 5 pitfalls of discovery that I think every MSP, not even MSP, everybody seems to run into. So what's the purpose of this meeting? You're going to ask questions and shut up. You're not trying to sell anything. Don't sell. Don't try. You're there to gather information so you know whether you can or cannot help them. Remember, you're qualifying them as much as they're qualifying you. It's fair on both sides. They may not be a good customer for you. Next, don't assume they're going to give you all the information you're looking for. They never are. We go out, we take what they say at face value, and then we wonder why we make bad decisions as to customers and things we want to do. Don't assume. That's the purpose of discovery. You suck. Telling them everything that is wrong with their environment, everything the other MSP isn't doing, I promise, is not going to get them to open up to you. It's probably going to piss them off, or even if they agree with you, it's still not going to give you a professional aura about you. Next, sales manipulation, or so you think. Do not use FUD. Do not use FUD. Do not use FUD. Quick explanation, and I could talk about this one for 30 minutes. Psychologically, there are 2 things you're going to do using FUD. 1, you're going to piss them off. 2, you're going to actually scare them. As a human being, if you read psychology, if you actually scare them, there's something they're going to do, which is completely freeze up. They now don't want to make the wrong decision. And guess what? When they're ready to make a decision, they're going to do it with someone they trust, and that isn't you. You've just talked yourself completely out of a sale. Getting frustrated. You getting frustrated that nothing works, marketing sucks, sales sucks, etc., is not going to move you forward on an ongoing basis. Stop it. There are ways to fix this, and this is one of them. Discovery questions. It's a type of open-ended question to make sure you get the client to think about things in a certain way. You never ask a discovery question that you don't know the answer you're looking for. It's kind of like a lawyer. They say never ask a question you don't know the answer to. Well, in this case, don't ever ask a question you don't know what the kind of answer you're looking for. Oh, there's no purpose to asking them. It allows them to open up and give you important information in their own words. You're going to ask questions and listen. You're going to write the questions down ahead of time. It's a centering mechanism. Hopefully the customer is going to talk you all over the place. This brings you back to make sure you get all the information you're looking for. You're going to take a lot of detailed notes. You're going to ask follow-on questions to get deeper answers if you don't get exactly what you need. And again, don't use FUD. Some example questions. Why me and why now? People always ask me, Matthew, isn't that a silly question? No, I don't care if they called you or you called them. Don't you want to know why they want to talk to you right now? There must be a problem or an issue or something. Wouldn't knowing that help make your life easier? The next one, it's not a discovery question. It's a put the customer at ease question. I don't know about you, but when I walk into a lot of appointments, the customer is sitting there like this, arms crossed, legs crossed. They don't even really want to be there, even though they asked you to be there. So you're going to ask them, tell me what makes your business unique, and shut up. There is no customer in the world that doesn't want to talk about their business, especially why they think it's different. What this is going to do is they're going to uncross their legs. They're going to uncross their arms. They're probably going to lean forward. What you just did is you started the question process and you got them excited about being part of it, and you've opened them up. What do you like about your current IT organization? Well, that's pretty straightforward, right? If you could change anything about the way IT works within the organization, what would that be? Matthew, isn't that the same question? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Psychology states if you ask the same question in different ways, you're going to get different information. It's just the way it works, folks. I didn't make the rules. This is the way humans work. Now, Matthew, what happens if they don't answer my question? Well, here's the interesting part. 2 reasons they won't answer your question. 1, they don't really want to be there anymore, and they're just being polite. 2, they don't know the answer. Well, if they don't know the answer, your response is, hey, that's great. This is important for me to understand, though, to decide if we can help you in a responsible manner. Who else would I want to ask these kinds of questions to? Don't just shut down because they're not giving you the answer. What's your current provider responsible for? Well, that tells you what the decision maker has a clue as to what's going on in their environment. What does your organization take care of internally? Again, do they understand? Do they know? Is there an IT person that you're not aware of? What's the most important thing a service provider can do for you? What do they care about? What are the top 3 things you took away from your last QBR? This one is also controversial. Matthew, why? Why would you ask that? Well, let me give you 3 reasons. First of all, do they have QBRs? I want to know that. Are they used to having QBRs now? 2, does this person who's the decision maker actually attend the QBRs? That's important to know. If they're having QBRs and they're not showing up, why? Second, if they are showing up, are they paying attention? And if they are paying attention and they can give you 3 things, guess some things that are important to them, because those are the 3 things they remembered. What are your top 3 business initiatives for the next 12 months? Understanding where they're going and how you might be able to help them. Ask if you can interview some of their employees as part of the process, part of the assessment process. Understand what the employees think of IT and how their infrastructure works and anything that can make them better and more productive. Doesn't mean you're going to come back and say, well, we need this software, we need this. No, you're just getting an idea of their thought process. Security, who's responsible for your cybersecurity? What's being done to proactively protect your organization? When it comes to security, what are the things you worry about the most? Not what keeps you up at night. What are the specific things you worry about the most? If they say nothing, that tells you a lot about what they think about security and a lot about whether this might be a good customer for you or not. What are the security controls your insurance policy requires in order to pay out? Did they pay attention? Did they attest to things they don't even know they attested? Again, information you need to understand what you're walking into. Have you had any incidents in the past? Are there written policies that they follow? What does accountability look like? Emotional. These are the best way to get someone thinking about themselves and not the world. Meaning, oh my God, Target got hacked. Home Depot got hacked. Did you hear about this hack? I don't care. I'm a company of 50 employees. They're not coming after me. And we'll get to those 2 objections in a second. So what you want to do is you want to get them thinking about their business. Ask leading discovery questions such as, how would it feel if you had to lay off half your staff because of a breach? Notice I said, how would it feel? They have to answer the question. And it's emotional. Laying off half the staff is not something anybody wants to do. What would it look like if your business had to be shut down for 90 days because of a breach while you did the reporting and you did the remediation and you did all of that stuff? What would happen if you had to send out a breach notice to every single one of your customers, which you're required to do to let them know you've been breached and some of their information might be taken? Talk to them about their company, how they feel, what it would look like, what would happen. Get them inside their own head. Don't talk to them about China. They don't care. Follow-up questions. Matthew, this is corny. This is stupid. Yeah, but I've used it even in the enterprise space. What's most important to them? Price, time, or quality? If one of the things that's most important to them is price, you need to dig down because you don't want to be the cheapest. If you're trying to be the cheapest, you're going to be treated like you're the cheapest. Don't do it. Stop doing it. If price is one of the things, maybe a follow-up question is, when it comes to price then, are you looking for me to be the cheapest, or are you looking for me to have the highest quality and be fair about my pricing? Again, gives you a lot of information right there as to how they think. Who besides yourself is involved in deciding if we're right for you? Matthew, isn't the same as asking what does the decision-making process look like? No, it's not. I don't care at this point about the decision process. I care who else in the organization is going to have a say in whether what we do and how we do it is good for your company. You know what? That could be the director of human resources. That could be Bob, a technician. I guarantee they do not sign off on money. Okay? You want to know who else needs to be impressed with you to say, this is a company I want to work with. How to get to the truth. I want you in your mind. You can't say, so what, who cares? But you can in your brain. If we started talking about, Eric and I, about a subject he was passionate about, and every time he told me something, I said, so what, who cares? Well, then he'd give me the next thing, and I'd go, so what, who cares? Think about it in an upside down triangle. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where there's nothing more to say. So in your mind, every time a customer answers one of your questions, you go, so what, who cares? And you start to train yourself to do that. It is going to lead to follow-up questions you've never thought of before, because now you have the right mindset of going about this. So trust me, don't try it out loud. Been there, done that. Got the stain on my butt when I was kicked out. I thought it was funny to try once. They didn't find it amusing. Finally, make it fun. Keep track of the questions that give you the best information. Change up questions that don't. Have the whole team participate. If someone gives you a question you never thought of and it gets great information, give them a gift card. Get everybody. Everybody's involved in sales. Everybody's involved in discovery. The bottom line, you have to have a sales process. Discovery questions are the biggest mistakes anybody makes. If you can't duplicate it with someone else in your company, you're not doing it correctly. You should easily be able to give these questions to someone else. They should understand what the process is, and they should be able to bring back the information that you need. Remember, this is only the beginning of the sales process. It'll give you the information you need to decide if you want to move forward and what you need to do to gain the business. Ta-da!
And he did that in under 15 minutes, folks. I think this is something that MSPs who are serious about their sales need to have a real discovery framework. And that's what you've laid out here, right? You've laid out a series of questions that flow in a particular order to get you to a particular place. Now, there are a lot of other frameworks, that you can use. There's BANT, there's MEDPIC, yeah. There's Sandler. There's the Sandler Pain. I forget what it's called.
Right. There's Challenger Sale. These aren't the end all be all. These are just questions that I've used that I know that work. You can make up your own. You can add to this. You can cut it down if you think. One of the things I always tell customers, get your whole group together. Okay. There are lots of questions you want to ask. What are the most critical questions you can ask to know if they're an ideal customer? Those are not the only questions you want to ask. But if you could only pick 10 questions to decide as a group if this is the correct customer for you, what would those 10 questions be? And you want, depending on the size company, you want the CEO involved and the sales team involved and the technical people, right? You want everybody involved that would decide this is a great customer for us, or what isn't a great customer for us. And those questions you especially want to listen to and know how to dig down on, right? Because those are absolutely critical. Now, again, those aren't the only things you care about. There's a lot of stuff in here that you should get information on. But those are the ones, and guess what? They may not be direct answers to the questions. They may be the attitude. They know nothing about what's going on with security in their organization. Therefore, can you make the assumption that if you came to them and said you need to do something about your security, the answer would be no, that it's going to cost me money, right? That's the kind of stuff.
Well, and there was one thing that, and if I missed it, I'm sorry. I thought I was paying good enough attention. That is usually part of this discovery, and that is their timeline. And the reason why I like timeline is because it allows you to create a sense of urgency based on something that they have shared with you, not something that you artificially try and create, like our prices are going up at the end of the month.
Right. Well, the other thing is, one of the things that I always say is when you're done with your discovery, right? After the team decides what the critical questions are, you should have enough of a clue as to whether you want to move forward with this customer. And if you do, then the next thing you're going to do, because it's professional and other MSPs don't do this, and it makes me as a customer feel like you know what you're doing, you're going to say, okay, now that we've done that, I think we would probably be able to work together effectively based on our ideal customer profile. The next steps that we do, that we've done for 10 years now, and we've been able to effectively bring on customers that are extremely happy with us and vice versa. The next step we're going to do is we're going to do a technical and people assessment. We're going to assess the environment. We're going to talk to some people, employees, and I'll give you the questions ahead of time. And we're going to then come back and we're going to have an assessment meeting. And we're going to discuss what we found in terms of business impact, things that could impact your business, things that could be improved, things that might be able to be changed. Okay, it's not a sales meeting. We're going to talk about the stuff we found and things that we think should be important to you and get your feedback. After that, the next step, if you agree, is to put together a proposal that maps back to the assessment meeting. And we're going to put together a project plan for the top 5 things we decided were the most critical that needed to be addressed. Once we review that with you, you're going to give us a thumbs up and we're going to continue down the process. I love it. It never works when I want it to. And people go, well, why would you go through all of that? Because now I know that you're a professional. I know exactly what you're going to do. You have specific steps. You're not coming in going, okay, I learned enough about you. We can do this for $89 a seat and let's move. That makes you no better than anybody else. And it tells them that you're just going to try to close them immediately without all the information you need. Right. Make them want you, not vice versa. If they're not willing to do your process to make sure you're getting the right information and you're deciding if they're the right customer, walk away. Just like if you have a customer that says, okay, before we do this, can you send me a quote? The answer is no, because all they're looking for is either a third quote or to judge you by price. Is that what you really want? I know when I get the cheapest, I expect a lot of customer service for a cheap product that they don't need to be giving me because it's a cheap product, right? A lot of times that's why these cheap products only have emails for support, because they're not going to pay to get on the phone with you.
Right.
Okay. If you want to be the cheapest, they're going to treat you like you're the cheapest. Okay. Because that's the personality you've created, that you're cheap and you're quick and you'll jump whenever they say jump because you're desperate for the business. If you have a process You're showing them that, look, we may not be right for each other. So we're going to make sure that we're a good fit for each other. And if we are, that we should be able to have a long-term relationship.
Yep. And ultimately, that's the goal, right? So, Matthew, thank you so much for sharing all this information today. This is highly educational for our partners here at All Things MSP. It's one of those things that I don't think gets talked about as much as it should when it comes to an MSP sales process. So I really do appreciate that.
Sure.
Once again, how can people find out more and get more information about Nodeware?
Sure. So first of all, if you want more information about Nodeware, reach out to me at Matthew.Koenig at igicyberlabs.com. Also, if you'd like a copy of this presentation, it's not hidden, it's not gate locked. Reach out, let me know that you saw me on All Things MSP podcast, and tell me you'd like a copy of the presentation. Happy to send it to you. Happy to spend a few minutes reviewing it with you. Whatever helps you grow your business.
All right. Thank you very much, Matthew.